Yes. Time to walk on that soil, guys. Time to walk on that soil. Yeah. You see this, guys? This is actually compost. These are actually grass. You see? All through the spring, all through the summer. What I was doing here, I was adding these grass right in this area. And look how fast these grass clippings break down. It break down. Oh, you see earthworms inside there? Yes, it break down within months. This is how fast this thing break down. Naturally, within months. So, this is what I'm saying, guys. What we can do, we can take our grass we pick out the garden, put them in a pile, and in months, you have compost for your soil. So now, if you notice, the frost is getting ready to come. All these is nice fresh basil. The frost is getting ready for come, and over here, if you notice, you're gonna see a start building. I'm basically building something to protect these plants. So tomorrow, I'm gonna be covering these plants. So I might do that live tomorrow. Hey, Altina, how you doing? Blessings, blessings. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, guys, tomorrow, I'm gonna do this live tomorrow. You guys can tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna be covering these pepper trees. Basically protect them from the frost, because we know the frost is coming pretty soon. And if you notice, these pepper have on so many plants, so many pepper, we don't want to make them spoil. So now, guys, this is the time for us to walk on our soil. This is the season for us to walk on our soil. The right time to walk on your soil is now. So when you walk on your soil now, in the spring, your soil will be ready for planting. If you notice, all these areas over here had a lot of grass, lots of grass. Oh, I have this potato, I didn't even harvest this potato. Look at potato right here. I didn't even harvest them. But anyhow, what I'm gonna be doing right now, I'm gonna be taking up all these grass, all these weeds that you see drying down in the garden. I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna mix them with the soil. I'm gonna turn them into compost. And this is what's going on, guys. What you do, you gotta start now, prepare your soil now. So when the spring come, okay, look, we have garlic coming up. When the spring come, we actually in good shape. All right, so now all these is weeds. These are weeds, and what I'm gonna be doing today, I'm gonna be taking these weeds. I'm gonna be taking these weeds and I'm gonna be putting them. I'm gonna be putting them around my plants in some of my raised bed. This is a raised bed, and you could be damping all your leaf in, all them weeds, dry weeds inside the raised bed. And what's gonna happen? These same thing gonna turn around and be compost for the spring. You see? You damp them in your raised bed and allow them. We in November, now is the time to walk on your garden. Now is the time to put your raised bed together and allow it to allow the winter to walk on it. The winter. Sometimes a lot of people believe that nothing happens in the winter. Well, guys, a lot of things happen in the winter. Believe it or not. It's a reason why there's winter. So now, all these, I'm going to show you what I'm doing with these. And I'm going to show you in a minute how these things break down really nice. So all you do, you pile them up in your raised bed, pile them up. And then in the spring, in the ending of the winter, what you do, you come and you turn it over. So basically, what you're doing, you taking the shovel and you turning it over. So now what happens? The dirt, like, let me show you what I'm talking about. Like for instance, you're gonna take the soil, dirt, and put it on top of it. And that gonna break down and create compost. So in the spring, you have nothing to worry about. You don't have to go and buy any compost because you already creating your compost. All right? Now, all these areas here, as you can see, all these weeds that drop and right here, in the spring, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna mix them in and I'm gonna plant, I'm gonna even plant some edibles. Okay, we have it. What a nice root of edible we have here. There's always food in this garden, guys. Never hungry. When you have this kind of garden, you're never hungry. I'm telling you. Never hungry. There's always something to eat. Yes. So now is the time for you to fix your soil. Don't wait until the spring. Don't wait until the spring to now fixing your soil, because that's gonna be pretty too late in some cases. Why I'm gonna say it's gonna be too late? Because the compost will not break down as yet, and if the compost ain't break down, it cannot feed the plant. All right, so let me show you, let me give you a little idea again. This, you see what I know I was doing down there? This is actually what I was doing. The same weeds. You see, look how fast they break down. You know, when I start putting these here, I start putting these here in the summer. All the weed that was growing up in the garden, I was dumping them right inside here. And you see what happened? Nice compost for container. You could put this in, this will work marvelous in container, and it also will work marvelous around any plants. These are natural compost, natural compost. This is why I promote growing your food natural. Why? The result is amazing. The result is amazing. The taste of the food is different. Okay. All these you see here is wood that I'm actually gonna be throwing some soil on. I'm gonna put some soil on these wood that they can break down faster. You see, these are some really massive pepper. I'm getting ready to, basically I should harvest this pepper today. Look at this one here, there's two ripe ones right there. These are pepper. It's so much pepper to harvest. And what my plan is to harvest some of them today. Got another one here. Harvest some of them today, and tomorrow my plan is to come and protect, build a house around these peppers and protect them from the frost. We also have some nice pumpkin coming along. So basically, we in actually November. As you can see, we in November. Now, like I now mentioned, this is the season. This is the time to fix your soil. This is the time to walk on your soil. This is actually the time. And you know what, my pumpkin and them, this pumpkin is producing, look how much flowers. This thing is still pushing flowers at this moment. Look at pumpkin right there. This is another pumpkin growing up right there. It's food in the garden. So yes, guys, you see, let me show you something. All these grass, you need them in your garden. Pull up all your weed around your garden and throw them in your raised bed. Throw them in your raised bed, throw them in the container, throw them wherever. Throw them in a heap. Because this same thing is what gonna come back and feed your soil. You see? All this is compost. And the thing about it, these break down really fast. Within 4 to 5 months, these break down already. Within 4 to 5 months. So when you add them in your container, or you add them in your raised bed, they break down pretty fast. You could also put them around your fruit trees. You could also put them in containers, whatever you decide. All right? But what I'm saying is, now is the time to walk on your soil. Don't wait till the spring. You see, this is why I do not weed my garden in the fall. This is exactly why. Why? Because all the weeds dry down and I mix them in the soil. So no need for me to buy compost. Okay, look, a nice pumpkin here too. Oh, Sam. Pumpkin. Okay, if you notice here, this is a cherry tree right here. But if you notice, you're gonna see what I did. I add these around it. What's gonna happen? By the time springtime, this gonna break down already. Feed your soil now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till springtime. Feed them now. Now, banana tree. This is a banana tree. I don't know. They come back every year. They come back every year. These banana tree come back every year. So you see, guys, all these, you allow them to break down and you mix them in your soil in the winter, late winter into early spring. You mix them and you will be surprised. You will see magic. Now, let me show you a lot of stuff going on here as well. If you notice, all these leaves, I'm coming with a rake and I'm coming with my little plastic buggy right here and I'm raking all these up. What we have here, we have pine, we have oak, we have maple, we have pine leaf, oak leaf, maple leaf. All this is leaf. So what I'm doing, all this I'm gonna be raking everything together. I'm gonna put some around my pepper trees. I'm also gonna put some in my raised bed, and I also wanna put some in an area by themselves. So all these leaves you see here, all this is leaf right here. Everywhere is leaf. Everywhere, all on this stone right here. Go down here. And what I do, I put them into the container, or I put them in around the fruit trees, or I put them around a raised bed, or I put them in a pile. So if you have a food forest, or you have land in your backyard with trees, you have a lot of things you can get for free. All this, you see all this? All this I'm gonna use for compost. All in the yard, everywhere you see here. I'm gonna be taking all these leaves and put them in a compost pile. Now is the time for you to work on your soil. Now is the time. These are some beautiful lilies that comes up in the spring, in the fall, and they just dry right back down. You see, down in this area here, guys, is a very rich area. The soil down here is beyond rich. You understand? The reason why I'm saying that is because the leaf been dropping here for years upon years and just drop here and just decay and turn into compost. So I know for a fact that this area is a very rich area. Now my goal is this year I'm gonna be planting some edibles right in this area here. Let me see if I can. Okay. Let me show you the soil. Oh man. Yeah, you see? This gonna do some nice, them edibles. You plant anything in this gonna be wonderful. So what I'm saying, guys, if you have these type of areas around you, you have rich soil that you can use. The thing about it is we ignore our natural beauty, man. We ignore our natural beauty, and what we do, we try to use other things and we have the real thing. We ignore all that we have. Every year, all these grass turn back and mix into the soil every year. So I know for a fact all these areas, anything you plant in this area right here will do really well. And my goal is to plant down that area down there with edibles. Now is the time to walk on your soil. Now is the time. Now is the time. And guys, I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you guys. I want to give you guys a little motivation. All right? The motivation is, you see, all these are small pine. The motivation is investing. You know, there's a lot of people who really don't understand investing and investment. A lot of people hear about investment, and a lot of people believe that investment is something that happens overnight. Investment is not something that happens overnight. Investing is something for a long term. And there's a lot of people don't really look at it this way. Some people, if they invest today, they want to able to harvest the following day. No, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it takes years to really see a return. But at the end of the day, once you invest, you can always expect something. Once you invest, you can always expect something. But if you don't invest, it's hard to look for anything. Now, a lot of people look at it this way. I'm going to tell you guys about land and investing in land, right? Land investment. You can invest in land and you can allow that land to, like for instance, you purchase the land and you basically allow that land to sit for a while. And once that land sits for a while, the area, the value of that land can rise. What you do, you make sure you pay your taxes every year. You make sure you pay taxes, because if you don't pay taxes, you can lose the land. All right? So you invest in the land and you make sure you pay your taxes. And once you pay your taxes, you in good shape. Once you don't have no garbage on the land, they're not gonna bother you. You know? So sometimes it could be challenging. Why? Because sometimes you might have a piece of land and people will come and people will dump garbage on your land. So these things happen and it's very challenging. Sometimes you might get upset because you don't want nobody to come dump no garbage on your land. So of course you're gonna get upset. But it don't always happen that way. You see what I'm saying? In certain place it happen, and in certain place it don't happen. But at the same time it's challenging, and everything in this life is challenging. Nothing is easy. Nothing easy. Everything is a challenge. So investing in land, trust me guys, it can benefit you in the long run. Investing in houses also can benefit you in the long run as well. Investing in whatever you choose, it can benefit you in the long run. But let's get this straight. When you invest you cannot look for return overnight. Investment is a long-term investment. All right? And the more you put into it, the more you can get out of it. But don't expect, if you invest in a piece of land tomorrow, anything change. You see what I'm saying? No. If you invest in a piece of land where there's a lot of houses, or say for instance, the land that you invest into, houses start to build up around the land. Just like that, your value of your land start rising. From the time houses start building up around, the value goes up. From the time, especially for instance, say you get a piece of land and the land is not, there's no road, there's no paved road, and there's no water. Now, you might get the land cheaper in that form. But no, once there's road start coming, once water start coming, once people start building, your property skyrocket. Your piece of land now skyrocket. Now, you might pay a few $1,000s for the land. Now, this same piece of land turn out to be 99, you understand, 99% turnover inches, or you understand, by far. So no, this is an investment you make. No, you could say, all right, you know what, let me go and sell this piece of land and buy a bigger piece of land somewhere else, or pay down on a house, or whatever. So now, this same piece of land change your life. Why? Because it's, the value went up, and now you can sell it, or you can build a house on it, or it's so much you can do. You could rent it, so much you can do. So Investing is not an overnight thing, and a lot of people really believe investment is overnight. If they invest today, they must get a return tomorrow. Well, that don't happen in houses, in real estate. And you know what? Sometimes you could get pretty lucky because you could have a piece of land in an area and everybody loves the land. The location, location. You could have the piece of land and people just love the land. And just because they love the land, you could create a bidding. There could be a bidding. No, you could get way more money than you was even asking for now because you are 3-4 people bidding for the land. No, the price you was looking for, you would make $20,000 more. Why? Because people interested in the land. So it's a lot of benefit. It don't always happen. Remember that. I'm just giving option. It don't always happen. But sometimes, and this is how investment work. It don't always run smooth and peachy. Sometimes it could be a rough road. But at the same time, invest in something, guys. You cannot be under investing. This is how you grow. This is how things work out for you. This is how things get better for you. This is how things get a little easier for you, because especially in your young days, invest in your young days. Invest. So when you invest in your young days, say for instance, you buy a piece of land when you was 20 years old, right? By the time you're 30 years of age, this same piece of land could turn out to be way more than you purchase it for. You understand? So sometimes when you invest in, please do some research. If you want to invest in land, do your research, especially you want to buy a piece of land. Say you want to buy a piece of land, you want to purchase a piece of land, and you want to build a house on the land, or you want to do or you want commercial property, or you want a piece of land that you can rear animals. Do your research. Go to zoning in that county. Go to zoning and ask questions. And when you ask questions, what's going to happen, you're going to know exactly what type of land you want and which piece of land. Now you want to purchase a land from someone. Sometimes you could purchase a land from someone, but you want to make sure, like say private, okay. Say you purchasing a piece of land, cash, you're buying it cash from the owner itself. You're not going through no real estate, you just going to the owner itself. You buying cash. No, you want to make sure that this land have no lien on it. Make sure the property have no lien on it before you purchase it. If you're going through the real estate, they're going to make sure that this property have no lien. But when you're buying it from a direct buy, from the owner itself, you got to do your own research and make sure that this land is not, there's no lien, there's no tax lien, there's none of that on this property, on that property. So it's all about, guys, it's all about researching. It's all about researching, and do not go into investment blind, because sometimes a lot of people do that and then they cry after. Ask question. If you don't know, you ask question, because there's a lot of people out here who is not here for your best interest. They're about what they can make. Okay? And how much they can make. Ask question, guys. When you're spending your money, don't be scared to ask questions. But investment is just like the garden. It's just like the garden. It's investment, right? My investment is my time I put into this garden. My investment is all the hard work I put into the garden. And after I do that, I'm looking for a harvest. It don't come overnight. It takes months. But at the end of the day, it's a harvest. At the end of the day, I'm able to harvest something. You see? So investment, guys, it do not happen overnight, but it can really help you in the long run, all right? And you see, guys, this is free compost I'm getting here. Why? Because I put this here in the summer. Now I have this to put around some of my plants in containers. So just like this, as you see, free compost, guys. Free natural compost. You cannot beat these things. So my garden season, guys, never finish. My garden season never finish. The fall start out and I have so much food still to harvest. I have peppers, I have pumpkin, I have edos, I have dasheen, I have sorrel. I have so much thing to harvest. All right? And we in November. And what I'm doing now, I'm actually getting natural soil to put in my container. I also have some seed that I'm getting ready to set some seed to plant out in the early spring. You see this? This is natural, pure compost. This nothing added. All it is, the leaf and the grass that grows up in the garden. You see this is, you see what I'm putting around my pepper tree? All these are pumpkin vines. What gonna happen? These gonna break down and turn over, break down for feed. This whole area, what? The whole bed, if you notice, the whole bed, this is what you're seeing. You see, I'm not waiting till spring to walk on my soil. I'm walking on it now. So by the time the spring comes, my soil is ready to go, all right? Now, this is my 10 feet pepper tree, guys. I'm gonna show you live my 10 feet pepper tree. This is the top of it there. And if you notice, it bent over because look up there. It have 5 peppers right to the top. So it bent over now. So if you notice what I'm doing, I'm building something around it because I want to protect it. I want to see if it can stand the frost. All right, so yes, guys. Now is the time for you to start working on your soil. Now is the time. Don't wait until springtime. This is why I never pull up the weeds them out of my garden. Especially when the fall ready. Because when the fall hit, we already know that everything gonna dry up. And all we do is mix it back in the soil. And when we mix it back in the soil, this is what gives we rich natural soil. This is why we could grow 10 feet pepper tree. This is why we can grow 8-foot bell pepper tree. This is why we can grow all these things. This is why we can grow big, massive bell pepper. Massive bell pepper. You see, look at a ripe one right there. Big, massive bell pepper. Why? Because we grow our thing natural. And there's no one can tell me you have to use anything to grow anything. You have to use whatever. There, you don't have to, for my experience. For my experience, you don't have to use anything but the weeds them that grows up in your garden. Allow them to break down. You could put them in a pile somewhere. You could put them in a pile and allow them to break down. You could put them in your raised bed. You could put them in container. Once they break down, this is the looks, guys. This is the looks. You cannot pay for these kind of compost. I'm telling you. This is the looks. This is the looks. And this breakdown in about 6 months. Not even 6 months. June, July, August, September, October. 5 months. In 5 months, this breakdown. And I have videos when I was putting these right inside here. And in 5 months, this thing break down already. So if you put them in your raised bed now, by the time spring hit, you're going to be getting real natural compost, man. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. No one can fool me about composting. No one can fool me. I don't care what no one say about when come and composting. They're not going to fool me. I seen it all. I'm telling you, I seen it all. I remember, guys, I grew up where my parents, we had animal. We had cow, we had cattle, we had sheep, we had goat, we had chicken, we had all these type of stuff, right? What they used to do, they used to feed them from grass. They used to feed them from grass, and sometimes they might go and cut some grass and chop them up on the ground and tie the cow there for a few days. And when the cow there, you're feeding the cow right there, and then when the cow drop his doo-doo, then they move the cow and they leave that there to break down. Then now you use that same compost around your plant. That was good because they was getting grass fed. They was getting grass fed. Into the wall is different. Why? Because these animals or whatever. Hey, JS Farm, how you doing? What's going on? Thank you for being here. Yes, these animals, them now, they got to take medicine, the feed they eat. All this kind of stuff kind of create something different in the compost. So what I'm saying is, all you got to do is be patient with yourself. Be patient. It's an investment. Like I now show you, these are pumpkin vines and all different things. I throw around this pepper tree. These are the same weeds out of the garden I put here. And in 5 months, it break down and it turned to compost. I now take a bucket out of it. You see? In 5 months, look what it is. Look what it is. So this is what I'm telling you. And it's natural. It have no type of chemical inside of it. All right, so you just have to be patient, guys. Don't, I mean, you might watch other people and you might see their garden look nice, but the plant, don't watch that. You build your soil right. When you build your soil right and natural, you're going to be seeing some kind of result that other people is not getting. You see what I'm saying? 10-foot pepper trees. I mean, come on. You don't hear this type of stuff. 10-foot pepper trees. 8-foot bell pepper trees. You understand? 16, 18-foot banana trees. It's just different, guys. So all I'm saying is, and guess what? The plants them do not stop produce. Even though we in November and the weather is changing, right? The weather is changing, but if you notice, we still have flowers. The tree still loaded with pepper. Listen me guys, I've harvested so much pepper this year that, look, the tree is full with ripe peppers and I'm not even picking them because I've harvested so many this year. You see what I'm saying? Look at this one here too. Loaded with pepper to watch. Everywhere is pepper. This is why, wow, this is why I have to protect them. Look one now drop off here. This is why I got to protect them. Because my thing is, right, I just believe if I'm able to wrap these plants, I'm trying to build a frame to wrap them. If I'm able to wrap these plants, guys, you see, ripe pepper, so many peppers, flowers, you see, even this one, watch, flowers everywhere and still peppers. Right, so my goal is protecting them. So from my experience in growing a natural garden, from my experience, growing a natural garden, I've seen it all. I'm telling you. So now I have a bucket of compost that I'm gonna be throwing in some of my containers, my fruit trees, my tropical fruit trees. I'm going to put them around it. And that's it, guys. That's it. Grow your food natural. Don't wait until the spring to start working on your soil. Start working on your soil now. So in the spring, your soil already ready for the plant. If you wait till the spring, the compost you put into the soil is not gonna ready, it's not gonna break down. The plant's gonna take longer to take off. The plant's gonna take longer to grow. By the time, once the soil is ready, by the time you plant, they plant them ready to go because the soil is ready. I don't know about them chemical, but I'm not gonna recommend no chemical to no one because I don't use them. The only thing I can recommend to you guys is the natural. All these grass you have around here, pick them up, throw them in a compost pile, pick them up, throw them in your raised bed, pick them up, throw them in your container, and you will be okay. You will feel great. You're going to see different results because it's natural. When it's natural, you get the right vitamins, you get the right nutrients. I don't know, guys. I want you guys to look up something. I want you guys to look up something. Let me see if I can find. Give me a minute. I need you guys to look this up. Look up tissue culture. Look up tissue culture. Look that up. I'm not even gonna explain it. I need you guys to go and look it up for yourself. Tissue culture, and see what is tissue culture, and you're gonna have an understanding of what's actually going on and the things you eating. You understand? It's the things, man, I'm telling you, look that up. Tissue culture. Look it up and tell me what you think or what you get from that. But this is what it means. It's tissue culture. Because now, according to tissue from an animal, guys, my screen freeze, so I'm gonna be just explain tomorrow. Peace and love. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.